Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Leslie Heath with Keller Williams Real Estate here in Paducah, Kentucky. I just wanted to give you an update. Last week, I visited with our PVA office and senior advisor, Glenn Miller. Glenn used to be an appraiser for a lot of years, and when he retired, he went to work for the state and went to work at the PVA office, and he's been there for several years now. The reason that I went to visit him is I was getting several calls as a realtor, and as friends and family were calling me as well about assessment letters that they were getting in the mail. So I just wanted to touch on that a little bit. I wanted to touch on who got them, why you got them, and what you can do about it. So I just don't want you to think that all this is going crazy and your house value is going up. I want you to understand the whole process. So the first thing I want to tell you, and I am going to glance down at my notes a little bit so that you know that I've got everything correct. I don't want to read anything incorrectly. The number one misconception about the PVA office is that it's tied to the county, and the PVA office works for the county, and so all these different things are talked about, our county taxes and why they're reassessing our homes and all of that. Well, first of all, the PVA office, which I think I knew but I had forgotten, is actually an office that's ran and governed by the state. So anyone who works for the office of PVA does not work for the county, they work for the state. So that kind of was clearing a little bit up for me. The second thing that I want everyone to know and realize is that if you got one of those letters in the mail, you got one of these property assessment information. Now, some people opened up this letter, tossed everything, looked down at a number and said, oh my gosh, they're raising taxes on my house. And that's not necessarily true. So I want you to understand that there's a lot of things that your taxes go for. I want you to understand why you're taxed and what most of it is about, and how a lot of this got created years ago. I believe he told me in 2000, maybe 8 or 2009. I'm not for sure what date that was, but CARA went into effect, the Kentucky Education Reform Act. And when that went into place, assessment of every property in the state had to be reassessed every 4 years. So that put a burden on the PVA office that that's their job. Well, you think about this, because in McCracken County alone, city and county together, there's over 34,000 properties that have to be assessed. So that's a pretty big number for a very small amount of people that get this done. So we have field reps that go out, they take pictures, they do walk-arounds, they do aerials every 2 years. So they don't just pick on you and grab your house and decide to do something with it. If they can tell that something's been added to your house, something's been torn down, the house is gone, there's a new house that was an old house, those kinds of things. Also, they look at the permit records that are pulled. So if you got a permit to build a garage last year, you probably got one of the reassessment letters. But do understand, in that letter, it tells you that it is not in stone and that you have until a certain date to reach out to the PVA office and sit down with them and make your case. They've done that over and over in the past few weeks, and I just want you to know that you can still do that. But the one thing, since the CARA Act in Kentucky, if you look at your property taxes here, half of the property taxes collected in McCracken County go to the county schools. Some of it goes to McCracken County Fire, the state government, libraries, the health department, the mental health department, extension services, the Paducah community colleges, and then McCracken County as a whole. So there's also something on that gives you dollars. I don't know if you can see this or not, but I have plenty of these. I can send you one. Just inbox me and let me know if you want one, about actually where all those dollars went in 2025. So just kind of an update. I just want to let people know that they're not the bad guys. They're doing their job. And there's a lot to it, and there's a lot of reasons why your property has to be assessed. But I think the main thing that I want people to understand in all of this, and why I'm making this video, is if you get one of those letters, then call them, set up an appointment. They've been making plenty of them. They will make an appointment with you by phone. They will make an appointment with you in person. So don't just walk in down there because other people have appointments, but please do call and set up your appointment if you have a question about your property taxes. There's another thing that I wanted to kind of combat was, people have said I bought my house 20 years ago and I paid $100,000 for it. And now my house is being assessed for $190,000, and no one gave me $90,000 in the past 20 years. That now I have $90,000 more dollars in the bank than I had because my house increased in value. That's exactly true. That's a true statement. But at the same time, if you called me or your realtor and you said, "Hey, I'm interested in selling my home. What could I sell it for?" And that realtor says, "Well, now you can sell your house for $190,000," and you're thinking in your head, "Well, that's a $90,000 profit." So property values are important. It's important that we keep up with them. It's important that we understand why our properties are taxed. And it's just a part of owning property. And I just want everyone to understand that the main thing is why it originated. It's not a county office. It's a state office. And also how they work hard around the year to get properties reassessed. There's a lot of things that go into play for that. Sometime I think I want to make an appointment with one of the field reps and go ride with them for a day and just see how many properties that they look at every day. And, just remember that they don't go inside your house. So if there's values that make your house more or less than what it's listed for on that letter, then that's why you need to make that phone call, and those doors are open. And I just want to make sure everyone understands that. I know this has been a little bit of a long video, but I just want to make sure that everyone understands why those letters run out and what you can do about it. And as your realtor, I'm just trying to keep you informed. If you have questions or concerns, I would say that you need to reach out to the PVA office. I don't have those answers. I just wanted to let you know that I was doing something to step outside the box for clients and constituents about their property taxes. So I hope this has helped you a little bit, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.